Okay. Calling our meeting to order at 6 o'clock. Let's see, approval of the minutes.
I move that we approve the minutes.
We got a motion from Lisa. We have a second.
A second.
Awesome. Thank you, Gwen, for second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Say no. Abstentions?
I think Bob should abstain. He's brand new. Oh.
What?
Abstaining?
No,
From the vote?
but I don't know what the minutes are, I didn't see them. So
Correct.
I can't
We're
really-
abstaining.
Okay.
Right. So,
Wonderful.
Oh, that's the word for it, I'm sorry.
No worries. And then
I just kept my
minutes,
mouth shut.
perfect. Minutes are approved. Next point is appearance of interested citizens. And Rhonda, Rich, you are signed up. Come on down.
Thank you. Good evening.
Hi.
I'm Rhonda Rich. I'm president of West Keizer Neighborhood Association. I don't know if Carol Phipps is going to make it tonight or not, but she was going to come. She's on our board. And last meeting or 2 meetings ago, I asked for a grant for Willamette Manor Park, and that project is completed, and she was going to thank you tonight. So I'll thank you on her behalf, but she may come here next meeting and kind of enlighten you on a few more things, but the project is done and it looks great. We did the bark dusting and replaced all the plants, and they should do pretty well over the winter, and it'll help that hillside for erosion and just beautification. So I just kudos to Carol and her husband because they did most of the work. We did have a couple people show up, and it was kind of drizzly that morning, but we got the work done. So. And then Matt Lawyer is off the board now, right? Is that correct? No?
No.
Okay.
He's
Oh,
tonight.
okay. Okay, I thought something.
I was like, the email I read said he just wasn't going to be here because he was out of town. I was like, I didn't get a resignation.
Okay, good.
You kind of scared me there.
I know you got a few new members, so I thought,
No,
because
he's
I
still
wanted
here.
to come here tonight and thank him. He led the project down at Wallace House Park with the pollinator plantings through the Keizer Rotary Satellite Club and the Claggett Creek Watershed. And we had a couple members show up, and it was a great day. We got all the plants planted that he brought and made a path down there, which is right behind the house that's kind of in between the parking lot and the park. So if you wanted to go down, if you get a chance, you should go down. We put some logs along the side to kind of define the trail. And I thought that would be really cool to have a trail through that park, you know, and have some things like the pollinator garden kind of identify it and such. But I just wanted to thank him for doing that project. It was a lot of fun. So I was going to tell him I'll bring donuts anytime he wants to. Donuts are good at these projects. So anyway, that's all I have to report.
Awesome. Did you have a question? Nope. Awesome. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank
and
you.
we appreciate all that hard work. I saw pictures of it. I didn't get to go in person and see it. So I appreciate you and the group who did all of that hard work. It looks fantastic in those
Okay,
pictures.
well, Carol will probably be reporting to you then
Yeah.
on the project. I'm sure we didn't spend all of it, so. Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rhonda.
Thanks so much.
I don't see any other interested citizens, so we're going to move along to new and old business. Illegal graffiti tagging wall. Excuse me, legal. So sorry. We were talking about illegal graffiti, and I was going to talk a little bit about that. No, it's on the agenda, and I'm not sure who's going to take the lead on that. I know that we connected with the art commission.
Right, well, once it was passed off to them, I thought we were kind of letting them move forward, so I'm not sure why it's,
And I don't know, did
What?
we get any?
I didn't
mean,
get a
didn't-
report back from them or anything, so.
Okay.
but Not
So
sure why it's there, but.
I know the youth counselor on the art commission.
Yes, you do.
And she did not say anything to me, but she's 17, so
Okay.
not unusual.
So no new news on that. Any other questions, concerns? Lisa, are you going to keep us updated on that as it comes along? Or Katie, are you going to be?
I mean, Doesn't matter.
I can ask around.
Okay,
I'll make a note and bring it back. at our
She
next
is in
meeting.
on the committee, so.
right.
Well, but it's a negative in.
Anyway,
Okay, so right now, there's no new news, and Katie or
yeah.
Lisa will follow up.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Awesome. Park reports, I'll take the lead. Country Glen looks fantastic. I'm still in awe that you can see Hidden Creek now. Every single time I go by it. And there's a lot of neighborhood chatter. Every time I pass by it and I see people, they're asking me about the project or just saying how great it looks. So the park, Country Glen looks great along with Hidden Creek. Mike Whittam, I haven't been down there recently, but when I did go over there, I didn't notice anything that stood out to me. So that's my park report. Gwen,
Hi. I was down over there at Claggett Creek, and everything looked really good. And am I imagining that signs are missing? Or is it just my imagination thinking there used to be signs there?
One of our main park entry signs is taken down right now because it was graffitied.
Yeah,
and
I knew
So it
that,
has to be
yeah.
hand painted again for the 30th time, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Jokingly.
That's why I was like, okay, where's the sign at?
Yep.
Then I thought, oh, that must be taken down. Then I thought, did I imagine the
No,
sign?
nope, you saw it correctly.
And then Ben Miller's doing really good. I went over there and a bunch of kids over there and playing. Everybody loves it. And
they
a
do.
lot of people there go wait for the kids when they're getting out of the grammar school over there. So they really like it. So everything looked really good. Thank you.
some, David.
Oh, Wallace House looks okay.
Great.
My dogs drug me through that today. And Meadows is fine.
Okay, great. Katie,
Ryan Hill looks good. I'm assuming that there's a plan for those, that tree with the root issue that's pushing up. I mean, are we taking the tree out? Do we have
We're trying not to take the tree out. We're thinking about just removing the concrete and assessing the root structure, what's
Okay.
going on underneath, and then replacing the concrete. And
okay, yeah,
Open that.
that's the only thing I noticed.
yeah,
and-
maybe some strategic root pruning, but not tree removal if we don't have to.
Okay. And then Northridge is Northridge.
Lisa.
All right. Well, we've had some beautiful days, and I went to Willamette Manor Park. Wow. Okay. So to be honest, I go to Willamette Manor Park every single day, and it has been fantastic. I've watched the brand new plantings that Rhonda was talking about. I was going to mention something, but it's like, oh, but then I wouldn't have anything to talk about for my park report. So, their little police crime scene tape fence seems to have kept most of the kids out of it and some of the most persistent dogs out of it. So it looks like all the plants are thriving. There's only like one or two that look like they might be a little grumpy, but the rest of them are shiny and happy, and it looks fantastic. Knock on wood, I haven't seen new graffiti in a while. The trees look happy. The grass is already really squishy, and it's only mid-November.
Yeah.
But, it's mowed, the leaves are picked up. It's just a beautiful little park. It's a gem in the neighborhood. And then Palmacia, the hidden gem, also is great. That little path down, they went in and they kind of cut back some of the brambles that were starting to grow over the Boy Scout path. And so now it's easy to get down there. You can still see the rising river. It's just a perfect little park. I mean, I love it. And somebody went in and they seeded a whole bunch of rocks that have cloth hearts cut out and then attached to the rock. So they're like the little love rocks. So there were little love rocks out throughout the park. So I looked at them, I took pictures of them, I left them there. So if anybody wants to go look and see rocks in the park or take them, move them, keep them, there are parts in a lot of our parks that people do that. So, and I found that. So anyway, that's all I have to say.
Awesome. And then everyone, anyone want to report out on Keizer Rapids Park?
Keizer Rapids is gorgeous. I mean, it is, I was out there this afternoon, taking a bunch of pictures. I had to talk to Robert before the meeting because the guy who works out there is one of the most amazing, hardest working guys. So nice. His name is Juan. He is always out there. He's always moving. He's always smiling. He never almost runs you over on the path with his truck. Like, and you guys laugh, but that, like,
That's important.
it is important. And there have been people who pretend that they're going to run you over just to get you out of their way. He's never like that.
Very good.
We are missing a park rules sign down by the porta potty that, that,
The boating camp?
it's past boating campground. The one, that little meadow there where the porta potty had the problems. But that whole sign is gone now.
Okay.
But other than that, everything looks really, really nice. So it's a lovely park, and if you get a chance, you should all go down there.
Anyone else?
Oh, I did walk through, and I don't know if it says the baseball fields. Are they doing a bunch of work? I walked through there the other day and like last week, and there was a bunch of dirt, looked like it was being moved and stuff. Is there something going on at the baseball fields?
The Little League
The
field?
Little League fields, sorry, yes.
Not that I'm aware of, but
Oh,
I
okay.
imagine they're probably,
There's just a bunch
Doing
of
something.
mounds of dirt and stuff, and it looked like they were doing, I was just like, oh, I don't remember anything about this, but okay. So
Yeah.
I was just curious. I just wandered through.
how did everything else look there?
Everything else looked great. I just saw the mounds of dirt and thought, is there a project, off-season, so I figured maybe there was a project, but everything else looked good.
Good.
You know, I mean, it's not, there were some other kids walking through, but it didn't look like they were doing anything they shouldn't be.
Good. Okay. Moving right along into our fence around Ben Miller Park. Prior to our parks tour, there was a recommendation about a fence. We tabled the conversation to go out and see the park, to kind of look at what was the need. And while we were on site, a variety of us, or a few of us, had a few conversations about the fence. So we added it to this meeting because last meeting we weren't able to really kind of dive into it. So it's on the agenda for us to discuss. Is there anything that you'd like to add, Robert, from information that you have or things that you've learned or heard about?
Nothing has really come in to me, like for ideas or direction. The way I understand it, some folks reached out to the mayor and kind of hinted around the idea of a fence of some sort to keep children from running out into traffic. And so there's just been kind of various ideas talked about, thought of. The way I understand it, it was more the Alder traffic that was the concern, which is actually the traffic that's farthest away. It is the higher speed traffic. I guess from my point of view, I kind of worry that if we only fence, if a fence were to be installed and it's only on one side of the park, what is to keep kids from running out in the street on the other side of the park?
Right.
So it's just a concern of mine. I kind of think like, hey, you put a barrier up here, kids say don't go there. What's to keep them from just going over here? But then do we really want to fence the entire park? Like that starts to get a little convoluted in its own. There's a lot of, it's a major pass through
Right.
for students when they get out of school. So fencing the entire park seems like it would hinder that welcoming activity. I like to see the kids there. They're using the park. Most of them are actually, fairly good to it. I mean, there's your obnoxious group, but, it's also a very common place for parents to pick up their children as an overflow because currently the way that the two schools share one street, it gets very, a traffic jam forms there every day. And so they use the park as an overflow pickup site. So I don't know. Just things, observations that I know of. as far as fencing goes, the two types of fencing that were discussed was like a 4-foot tall chain link or a 4-foot tall, like kind of wrought iron looking fence. My experience with chain link in high traffic areas is it gets beat up really, really fast. It's very easy to manipulate and damage, and you can take the little wire tabs off with, a small little pair of pliers or your fingers half the time. Kids like to climb it and jump on it and kick it and bend it, and it doesn't hold up really well long-term in high traffic areas.
Yeah.
And also, if we were to fence off along Alder, that is our only access point for our staff to get equipment and vehicles in and out of the park, because the tree line on the front stops that, and we just expanded the length of the toy, so we really have no way to get vehicles in through there. So we would have to install gates at various locations also, so we could continue to access the park. Just some thoughts and challenges and things I've thought about over the last few months as this idea has been tossed around. But really, we would like the board to have a discussion, and if the board is all, if you wanted to vote on something or make any type of recommendation moving forward, that is up to you.
Great.
Just, that's what I know about the fence thus far, and I'd be happy to answer any other questions if there's questions as you talk it through.
Okay.
And there's no timeline attached to this either.
Yeah, Councilman Kohler.
Thank you, Chair Hamilton. I'm the council liaison for the Southwest Keizer Neighborhood Association, which is where that park is located. Ben Miller Park is a neat little park, and it was neat to have some of the family members there when we visited.
Yeah, very.
I did a little survey on the Facebook page that the Southeast Keizer Neighborhood Association has, and I had one person say that fence might be a good idea, and everybody else said, no, we don't want it at all. So then I went to the neighborhood association meeting shortly thereafter, and we discussed it in length, and it was unanimous at the meeting. We don't want a fence there.
Okay.
Perfect. Well,
Okay.
seems like a good.
That's a good indicator. I mean,
It's their neighborhood. I mean,
Right,
all,
right. That's the thing.
all of us are, but if it's their neighborhood, then that's.
I had comments like, well, how big a fence would it be? And that's uphill from the rest of it. For a little kid to run up that and get out there doesn't make a lot of sense. And if somebody's not watching their kids, they're over on the play structure anyway. And there's, said, we never see soccer balls or anything going out on the street.
Right.
And these are people that use that park a lot.
Yeah. Well, they would be the
So
usual.
they just said, no, we really don't want it.
Oh, okay. Well, that takes care of it.
Any other discussion?
I just know that when I was there, it used to feel like there was a fence because the Ben Miller sign was so large, and in that spot, that little tiny road, I don't know the little tiny road's name.
Alder.
No,
one
no,
that turns on
no,
Beecher.
it's not.
Maybe.
But
Yeah.
you know, you go,
He
you're
knows.
on Alder and then
That's all
you
right.
turn and then,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, like a couple of boulders there, maybe might keep a car that doesn't quite make the turn and wants to go into the park.
Right.
But, I mean, that was the only traffic problem that I saw. Potential. But, anyway.
Well, and isn't there, on the other side of the walkway, isn't there a ditch or something?
Yeah, there is a
between that
little-
and the road? So you would think a kid would, if nothing else, be stopped if they're running towards the road, but.
To comment on the ditch, there's still a small ditch. We filled in part of it because it was really muddy and cars were just getting their tires stuck in it and
Oh, okay.
dropping off the edge of the asphalt and high centering. So we fixed that problem. There's still a low there that gathers water, but it's not as as
Pronounced.
big of an entrapment, I would say, for a child anymore. But we did add more boulders throughout that area also, just to kind of create a little bit more of a visual barrier, but again, nothing that would stop a child, but
Right.
it kind of, yeah. Just to clarify that.
We could do quicksand.
Sounds great.
Any other discussion?
Great idea.
Just on the fence thing, I think a fence on one side would give a false sense of security to parents possibly too, as far as kids running not keeping an eye on them.
Well, and the reason why we were looking into this is because somebody came and said this was an area of concern. So hearing that you heard feedback and that wasn't, feels a little bit weird that we would move forward with a fence at this time.
Right.
So
I agree.
I think that we just kind of, we addressed it, we discussed it, and if it becomes a problem in the future, then we have a conversation again. Okay,
Thanks for doing the legwork on that.
yeah, thank you.
That's my responsibility on that committee.
Nice. Wonderful. Okay, well then we'll move right along into staff reports, or report. Robert?
Okay. Well, some of the things I was going to report have already been reported on, but I'll kind of recap. Wallace House planting project and cleanup, that went great. Thank you for everybody who volunteered their time down there. Look forward to seeing what the pollinator garden becomes in the future. It's something that kind of started small. We can completely add to it as time goes on if people want to do that. And I know there was some ivy removed in that cleanup effort that definitely is going to save a rather large tree down there, so that was great. We continue to struggle through leaves. It was mentioned that our parks are all very soggy right now. The rain that we've continued to get is making it challenging for us this year, but we are continuing to work through those the best we can. Just know if you show up to a park and it looks horrible one day, hopefully a day or two from then it'll look really good again. So just kind of rinse and repeat. Soccer fields, that the bid opening for the Keizer Rapids Park turf fields was today, and 14 contractors put in bids on that project, believe it or not. That's a very large amount of contractors putting in. The apparent low bid, although not official yet, looked like it was going to be under budget from what we had planned. There's about $4 million allocated to that project right now. It came in about 3.3 million.
Wow.
So that will be in front of council on December 4th. So be looking for that. We have interviews scheduled the end of the month for our parks position that we have open. That's the weekend position mixed with, so they'll be working like Wednesday through Sunday. We're interviewing 4 folks for that, so excited to see where that goes. Hopefully we can get a great employee. Another planting project that took place recently was at Claggett Creek Park along the creek. We had an area that reed canary grass was really becoming prevalent, so we went in, mowed that down, scrubbed out some of it, and added some new natives that we'll be monitoring over the next 2 years. It's closer to the north end of the park, if you wanted to go look at that, but it's not much to see yet because a lot of the plants are small, 1 gallons, but they'll grow fast. I believe they'll thrive there based on the elevation to the creek and the type of soil that's there, so that'll be a nice little addition. Had a rather large homeless camp down at Keizer Rapids Park. We've been monitoring that for a week and working with the gentleman living there, one that we know of for sure, possibly others. And so that sounded like at about 4 o'clock today, the majority of that camp was removed, where our staff will be in there first thing in the morning with a tractor and some other equipment to do a final inspection and cleanup. But in case anybody hears about that one, we were finally able to get that out of there. I knew it grew quite quick with this rain. A lot of times you don't see camps and then the rain shows up and structures get big and shiny all of a sudden and are more prevalent, so. And yes, Juan from our water department, he's been helping us as a temp at Keizer Rapids Park. This is his last week, so I know I have to unfortunately lay all of our temps off in the wintertime, but hopefully he'll be back next year. He's been doing a great job helping us out.
How long was his tenure before he retired?
I want to say 20 years,
Yeah.
20, low
He's been
20s.
around.
Been here a while,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's still happy.
So,
Yeah, he's a good guy.
I know, he retired and just
I
wants
know,
to keep
right.
working here.
And
That's the way we are.
that's what he's
you know?
built. He showed up early and that
Yeah.
was part of his expect. Now he's retired and
Exactly.
he shows up again.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm
Anyway,
always happy to see him.
And that's all I got.
awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Council liaison report. Councilor Kohler.
Thank you, Chair Hamilton. I was prepared to talk a little bit about the the bid opening they had, $3,279,000. And they had two bids that were within just $2,000 of each other, being low bid. So that's very encouraging. We're also looking at maybe being able to use $500,000 from the SDCs and so we're encouraged that maybe we'll be able to do a little bit more down there than we thought we were. So that's very encouraging. I wanted to ask about, I had somebody report to me that when the docks were pulled out, there was a large number of needles that were found there. Is that something you could confirm or deny?
The docks haven't been pulled out,
The docks are still there.
and
the
we
last
do
year?
find needles that float up. I don't want to say often, but 100%. We have a extremely large homeless problem upstream of us, and everything comes downriver.
Okay, and when were the docks looking to be pulled?
So we pull those in the fall, usually. Rarely do they sit until winter, but it all has to do with when the river rises to above 13 feet. So we had a water event recently. It hit 11.24 or 29, wasn't quite enough. Basically what we're looking for is the perfect transition level to where we can get in and they're all floating, the ones that need to be removed. But also it has to do with the dock that they attach to that's still on land is not sitting at a sharp angle, putting pinch pressure on the connection joint. So as soon as the river hits that magic number, we race in there and get them removed. It takes about 5 people, about 4 hours. And we use some heavy equipment and make it happen.
Sounds
and
like fun.
Wear life jackets.
Right.
Sounds like fun. And the
is.
last thing I just wanted to ask Robert was, what can you tell us about the salmon and how are they doing?
Salmon?
Yeah, the ones that you guys are growing from fry.
Oh, they're almost ready. Yeah, they're doing great. That's, I think the second or third time we've done some fish. In case you didn't know, we have salmon eggs here at City Hall right now that are hatched and starting to swim around, and they'll be released. I don't know if we've agreed on the location they're going yet. Sometimes we just have few different locations and we all vote on it, and then some of the staff can go down and actually release them in one of the nearby creeks or rivers. So yeah, they're doing good.
Pretty exciting stuff.
It is. It's
I
fun.
just thought I'd let you.
Yeah.
I know
for sure.
you hate fishing, so.
Well, I wasn't sure where you're going with that. I'm like, how's the salmon
I know.
fishing lately, or what are we talking here? Thank you.
Okay.
The last thing I wanted to do is just say, welcome, Mr. Shackelford.
Yeah.
Thank you. I
Wonderful.
don't know what my role is here, but I guess I'll find out.
Yes, we're going to bring you up to speed. Any other, we have other business, go
I
ahead.
just have one question.
Yeah.
With the bids, was today the day it opened or the day it closed?
Closed.
Okay, because I thought I heard opened. It's like, wow, we're
Bid
announcing.
opening, so they actually take the bid packets
Oh,
and physically
okay.
open them and read them aloud.
Perfect, okay. 'cause
I could
it's
see how you could take that the other way.
I heard bid opened, and then it's like you're announcing people who were.
No.
Okay, that makes
Maybe we should
perfect.
reword that.
Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah.
Could we get a short update on pickleball court status?
Still working on it. We're trying to get a post-tension set of plans from an engineer right now, which is apparently not that easy to get, but we're getting very close. We got some information back. It wasn't quite as much as we were hoping for. We're still working on it. It will happen, Clay. I'll make it happen, promise. Those will be built.
Nice. We have the park board report is David for November 20th. Are you able to attend that meeting and do the park report out?
Yes.
Awesome. And then it looks like a potential cancellation is listed for December 12th. And I'm not sure if that is because there's something pending or because it's the holidays, or what are your,
Yeah, Debbie told me that in December and January, a lot of meetings get canceled because of
Okay.
the holidays, so it's up
Okay.
to you.
so, we don't really know if we have anything coming up until later. Is there any discussion or, about canceling or keeping it?
I have no strong feelings on canceling. I mean, I don't have any plans. It's kind of early. in the month, so.
Okay,
Find out if everybody's gonna be here.
is everybody gonna be here?
I'm gonna
I'm gonna be
I'm gonna be
here.
here.
plan
I'm gonna be here. I mean, barring.
Barring an emergency,
unfortunate-
but
I mean,
yeah.
I might get trapped in the
12th of
dock
December.
extrication and not be.
So we'll have a quorum.
We will.
Telling the truth.
You'll be out of
Oh,
town? Okay.
Okay,
I have a son going to be graduating with his master's.
Yes, congratulations. That's huge.
Exciting.
I don't see anything that's gonna be pressing that if we needed to cancel it, we could. Just even from some of the report outs that we've had, there are more updates. So if somebody was wanting to make a motion to, or do we just want to keep it? Okay,
yeah, I'm good with keeping it.
okay, we're gonna keep it. Thanks for bringing it up. Any other business?
I have a email that was sent from
Matt?
Matt.
I know, he usually sits right there, so that's why she's saying that.
So you're gonna do Matt's minutes?
Yes, well,
Yes,
yes.
still here.
So Matt Lawyer sent an email and it says, "Good afternoon. Regretfully, I will be unable to attend the Parks Board meeting tonight. I will be out of town for work. I wanted to say thank you to Robert for once again allowing Keizer Rotary Satellite Club and Claggett Creek Watershed Council and the West Keizer Neighborhood Association to do another project at Wallace House Park. This year, we focused on creating a new pollinator garden. It says see photos, but the photos look like a tree that has been stretched, so even showing them to you would not work. But you can go to Wallace House and go down below, and the pollinator garden is there, and it is beautiful, and you should all go and do a field trip to see the pollinator garden. That's me, that's not Matt. Matt said see the pictures. Okay, back to Matt's words. We were able to clear out an area and then establish a trail using existing wood. We, Kevin Dial, Jeff Anderson and Son, were able to cut down a bunch of ivy. Okay, and then it again says see photos. The photos are the same. Thanks to all that helped, the park staff for setting up the trailer. Well, I'm sure he meant to thank the park staff and everybody who helped. And all the volunteers, Kathy, Tom, Rhonda, Eric, Virginia, Kevin, Jeff and Son, Bailey, Zach, Laura, Susan. It really was an incredible day. Matt.
Awesome.
So that is what he had to say. And I've been to the Wallace House Park again on a fairly frequent basis because of, dogs. And it looks really, really good.
Wonderful. Awesome. I echo Counselor Kohler's welcome, Bob.
Yes.
We'll get you acclimated and we'll let you know. There's some park reports that will get you up to speed on what parks and documents that might be supportive. And then myself and Lisa will make ourselves available to answer any
I'm ready to
questions you
roll,
might
let's
have.
do it.
And
Cool.
should he, for December, go look at Matt's parks before we pick new parks in January?
Yeah, that's probably a great idea. But
So if you have time, I don't know what Matt's second park is. I know the Little League Park was one of them.
Is Matt leaving?
He
or-
left.
He left.
He left.
He resigned, and so
Matthew-
you filled,
Different math.
A different
Oh,
man.
different Matt.
Matt is still here.
yeah,
Matthew
Matthew
left.
Poteet resigned.
There we go. We'll get you up to speed. We're excited to have you. So welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, I think we are going to adjourn unless there's any other. Okay, 6:34. We're done.
Okay.
Smaller.